You got a little Matthew McConaughey going.
Yeah, I did.
What's up, guys?
I was like, guys, all right, all right, all right.
Easter, Easter.
Hey guys, Happy New Year's 2018, and it's already time to get ready for Easter. We're going to be talking 21 tips, things that you need to get done right now in order to make your Easter weekend absolutely phenomenal. Hey guys, welcome to another rip-roaring episode of CTA Live. My name is Dave Curley, and if we haven't ever met before, you don't know what CTA Live is, this is the podcast for Church Training Academy. ChurchTrainingAcademy.com is a website and membership site community where we all come together and learn how to use and exploit media and technology so that we can fulfill the Great Commission, spread the word of God, and we're doing it all by exploiting every possible technology that we can. With me, as usual, every single week is Justin Nava, the legend.
What's going on, guys? I'm coming at you live from my new studio. Check this out.
Okay, hang on. Hang on. Let me get it. Hang on. Here we go. Boom. There you go. Look at that.
Yes, here we go. Look at this. Got a backdrop, bookshelf, got my Iron Man stuff. My wife finally gave me permission to kind of man cave this place out and actually put up all my Iron Man stuff because I have like a whole 2 bookshelves of Iron Man collectibles and I've just had nowhere to put it because my wife, she likes things to look classy or nice. I mean, what's up with that? But she gave me this corner of the office, and so here we are. And you'll notice that the poster, not so much, or the canvas, but the bookshelf will change week to week. And I've got like quite a few collectibles I can put up here, so that'll be a lot of fun to play with.
That is awesome. Is that I can't tell. Is that like a dark Iron Man right there, or is that Venom? That's a dark Iron Man.
That is Iron Man. Oh man, I can't even remember that. I think it's like Mach 52. I think started in 2012 with the big Marvel reboot, and that's a suit that he can basically modify and carry around a briefcase, and it can modify itself into whatever. So like it can kind of just mutate, and then his arm turns into a cannon, or it can just mutate and it just turns into the Hulkbuster. So like in the movies, he's still in the early stages where he has to carry all this equipment around or have it flying around him and it assembles on him. Well, this black and gold suit, it actually, everything's like built inside and it just kind of mutates around him and turns into whatever he needs in the moment.
That is extremely cool. I really.
If anyone's still watching this, I appreciate you bearing like 30 seconds of nerd out.
Yes. We are going to nerd out from time to time, guys. That's just the way we are. Okay. We are definitely geeks and nerds here, as well as technologicians.
I like that. Technologicians. Yeah.
Technologicians.
It's called the modular armor. That's what it was called. The modular armor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Let me guess. Somebody fed that to you in the chat room?
No, I just remembered.
Oh, okay. Guys, this episode of CTA Live is sponsored by EasyLivestreaming.com. If you guys have been thinking about adding live streaming to be a part of your ministry, if you've been wanting to live stream your services or see how you can add live online streaming elements to your ministry or throughout various aspects of your ministry and stuff like that, we've got a free guide for you. You can go get our book, Live Streaming for Churches the Easy Way, by going to EasyLivestreaming.com. Grab a copy of that. We'll show you how you can add live streaming to your ministry at several different levels. I mean, there's actually like 4 modes of live streaming, okay? 2 of them you can start doing right now. Like, go read the guide, and you can start live streaming in your ministry as soon as you close the guide. It's that good. And then we can also show you how to start live streaming your services, kick it up, get really great quality. All that sort of stuff is all in our Live Streaming for Churches the Easy Way guide at EasyLivestreaming.com.
And now for our feature presentation.
So, Justin, as I understand it, you did a little math, and we are like 10 weeks, and as we're taping this, we're 10 weeks from Easter. Is that right?
That's right. Yesterday, I got an email from Brandon Cox, who was on our show a couple weeks ago, and he reminded everyone we are 10 Sundays away from Easter, which means we're like this week, we're 10 weeks away from Easter.
Oh, hey, speaking of the calendar, did you know that Easter is on April Fool's Day this year?
I did. I
Yeah.
did. And we're already making preparations. We're not going to hide any Easter eggs at the church, but we're still going to tell the kids to go hunt for Easter eggs. See how long it takes them to figure out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I could just see it like if we went back through history and worked all the math out and stuff, and it's like it turns out that Easter Sunday, the Resurrection Day, was on April 1st, and so they went to the tomb and they're like, we need to prepare the body. And then Jesus is standing out there looking like an angel, sitting there going, April Fools! Ha ha! Gotcha! I'm alive.
He is the original April Fool.
Yeah, he's the original prankster. That's where it all came from, folks. You heard it first right here. We're talking deep, deep church theology and doctrine right here.
Send your emails, your angry emails to don'tcare@churchtrainingacademy.com. No,
That's right. That's the email address, the one that works, guaranteed.
So getting into it today,
Yes.
we're going to give you 21 things to prepare for Easter. Now, these are things that not everything applies to every church, and you may not have the manpower to do all 21 things, and that's okay. What we're going to do is when the episode publishes next week on Tuesday, we're actually going to create a checklist for you that's easy to read. You can highlight, we don't have a live stream, so we don't need to prepare that, but we do have a guest Wi-Fi, so we need to prepare that, or we do have a welcome committee, so we need to prepare that. And you kind of pick your top 5. I think most churches, unless you just have a staff of over 20, most churches can pick 5 and find incredible wins by just preparing intentionally for these things. Because here's what happens all the time is you kind of blink your eyes after Christmas and you're 2 weeks away from Easter. And your pastor doesn't have a sermon ready. Your live stream still has issues. There's cabling still rotting on the stage that you haven't replaced. And so this is going to get you prepared starting today on things you need to audit, check, meetings you need to have. And we're just going to kind of blow through them here because we only have 20 minutes and we have 21 things. So we're going to talk a little bit faster, but we will have a checklist that you can download and we'll put it in the show notes below when the actual episode publishes.
Okay, so let's get started. Looking at our list here, I show that you think the most important thing that we need to do is pray. Is that right?
That's right. Number one thing you need to start doing today, and it's kind of like the obligatory Christian thing, but it's so super important, is start praying. So right now, this week, your staff and leadership needs to start praying for Easter. Start praying for the new people that are coming. Start praying for the people that come annually. Start praying for the families to use the day as a way to just further the gospel message. When someone's 4-year-old niece asks, "What is Easter?" Start preparing. Start getting your mind wrapped around that. And then 4 weeks before, so we're gonna split this up. We'll do 10 weeks out, 4 weeks out, and then the week of. So 10 weeks before, staff and leadership start praying. 4 weeks before Easter, call on your congregation to pray. Do this from the stage, do this from the pastor, do it in an email, whatever. But tell your congregation, hey guys, Easter's 4 days away. Half of America is going to be in church on this day. God can do some amazing things. Let's start praying for the people that we're going to have in our church on Easter Sunday. And then the week of, just simply keep praying. This one doesn't really have a new thing that you need to do the week of, but start praying. One thing that you can also do is maybe do like a 12-hour prayer-a-thon where you have someone in the prayer room. If you have that, praying consistently for 12 hours or 24 hours, you can do that the week of. But it's super important. You got to start with prayer.
In talking about the prayer room, that's something that we have at our church, and we've got people whose primary ministry is to go in there daily or every few days or whatever, and just go in there and spend concentrated time in prayer. One of the things that you could do, and you could probably do it here now, like 9 or 10 weeks out, is go ahead and put some specific things down on a list that are available to the folks in the prayer room that are reminding them to be praying specifically for the families that are going to be coming and for those folks. So it's not just the church staff and the volunteers and stuff, but the active members in the church that are in these other areas of ministry, like the prayer ministry, can start doing that as well. Let me see. One of the things that I've got is your lighting, and when I talk about your lighting, I talk about like the lighting in the sanctuary, the church service and stuff, and that goes a couple of different ways. Number one, the two biggest times that people are going to come visit your church throughout the year are going to be Christmas and Easter. Okay, that's just the way it is. So expect more people to show up. And since there's a lot of people that haven't been here in a year, you really need to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward in all these areas that you possibly can. Now, we made a note here about the lighting, like stage lighting and stuff like that, but I'm going to back that up and make sure that you're just going around in the sanctuary and looking at your chandeliers and your stuff like that and going, you know what? We've got a light out there. We've got a light out there. Like, make a map or make a notes or something about what you need and how many you need, and then, rent the scissor lift or whatever to come in so that you guys can start changing these things out. Because it's the little things where someone walks in and goes, gosh, I haven't been here in a year, and look at all the stuff that they've done. They've added some new things, and they repainted, and oh, look, there's a light bulb out over there. Oh, and look, there's a ceiling tile hanging, and all this sort of stuff. So little things like that. Okay, so be sure you're taking care of that facilities-wise in the area where everybody's going to be. But then also, when it comes to like the stage lighting, if you're a lot of the medium-sized churches have more professional lighting, LED lights and lighting consoles and stuff where you can program it and change colors and do all that sort of stuff. Go ahead and start working on that now and planning that out. Get with the worship leader and figure out what it is that's going to be needed. Start getting some of the basics of that done and get things replaced if you need to. If you've got LED panels that are out, or if you've got dimmer packs that are giving you problems or causing a loud hum or something like that, go ahead. You've got some time to order replacements, to get the guys to come in and fix it, whatever. And then, when you get into like the 4 weeks out and stuff, you can start really locking in your sets. But if you're doing something special, chances are the worship team is already going to be practicing. Find out when that's going to be. Get with them. Make sure you have all that sort of stuff. If you're renting things, okay, like some churches will rent spotlights because they're doing a real pageant. They're doing a real big production or something. Go ahead and get with the folks that you can be renting that from. And if you need to, or you or a couple of your volunteers need to go over there and sit down with them and get shown how to work some of this stuff and practice in their demo room or something, start putting some of that stuff into play now, so that you're not cramming on Saturday morning when they come to set that stuff up, or Friday afternoon or Friday evening when they're setting that stuff up, and everybody's got to get all crammed in for Sunday morning, get all the knowledge put in. Let that be the time that you're refining and stuff. So that's what I'm saying on lighting here.
Yes, exactly. Number 3 is your sermon skin. Now, this is basically what you're going to be preaching on. This comes kind of on the tail end of what Ben was talking about in last week's show, which is you want to skin your sermon in a way that's, apply a skin to it, apply a theme, apply an idea, where people can access what it's about. So, what are you teaching about? What's the main lesson? And then how can you kind of wrap a, what am I trying to say, Dave? Wrap an idea around it.
Yeah,
that's easily.
Yeah. Wrap a look and feel. Go ahead.
Yeah. Wrap a look and feel, almost like a brand around it.
Right.
So,
exactly.
It's not just an Easter sermon, but you're talking about upside down living, or you're talking about, something like that. So 10 weeks out, your pastor should start thinking about, and if you're the pastor, you got to start thinking about what you're going to preach. Again, this is Billy Taylor, another guest that we've had here, says that Easter Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday for the church. This is our biggest Sunday of the year, and we're going to have people here. So you got to be on your A game. So even if you don't know what you're going to preach until the week of, for Easter, you need to break that habit and start planning now. So 10 weeks out. 4 weeks out, you should have your sermon kind of planned and know what you're going to talk about, at least the theme or the skin. So if you're going to make any kind of printables for that, posters, personal invite cards, flyers, Facebook covers or something like that, get that done and passed out to your congregation. And then the week of, just give one last push to your congregation. Hey, we're talking about upside down living. If you have anyone that in your life that kind of like think that like, man, they're living in a way that I think that God can, or I know that God can turn around, kind of thing, then give them an invite card. Think about that one person, make one more push to get something out to the hands of the people that you want to invite.
Yes, let's talk about number 4, which is live streaming and the things you need to do to get prepped before.
Remember, Dave, you only got 2 minutes.
I've only got 2 minutes. I know. I got to go very quickly. Number 1, if you are wanting to add live streaming to your ministry, then now would be a good time to start getting that stuff prepped, because you got basically 9 weeks between now and the time that you can get everything worked out. Okay, so be thinking like that. If you're already live streaming, if you've already got folks that are watching and participating remotely and stuff, go ahead and just double check stuff. Get in there and you know what's going on, okay? Or the people who are doing it know what's going on. They know where the glitches are. They know, you know what, we really need to fix this, because because you'll be doing it right in the middle of the service. Someone goes, you know what? Gosh, this thing, we're gonna have to fix this. Okay, well, now's the time to fix it. So if you've got problems with cameras, if you've got problems with your comm system, if you've got problems with any of the live streaming equipment, the computer, it keeps rebooting spontaneously, or every third time you boot it up, you got to reboot it again. I mean, just these. I mean, it's Windows, right? So these little glitches and stuff like that. Go ahead and take the time now to get that stuff fixed. Hit Google, start doing some searches, check the manufacturer's website, do things like that, and go ahead and start getting these things done now. Because if you need to get a camera replaced, or if you need to reinstall Windows and get the entire streaming system rebuilt from ground up or something like that, you got plenty of time to do it. There's a lot of evenings and weekends between now and Easter that you can get all this worked out so that it all works nice and smooth. Also, if you have new things that you want to do, new things that you want to try, start trying them now and sort of get them dialed in. Use this service this weekend to try adding the lower thirds or changing little things like that. You can do all that sort of stuff in this ramp up so that when it comes time, everything is looking good. Because like you said, it is the Super Bowl, which means the people that aren't going to be there because they're sick, chances are they're going to be watching. And this can be a wonderful little showcase piece that you can put on your website for what a big event example is at your website. So let's make it all look good.
Exactly. So make sure that you do a lot of these tech stuff 4 weeks out. We recommend that not only do you have the scene set and everything, but get your volunteers together 1 month
Definitely.
out from Easter in March and do a retraining, do a Q&A. Is there anything you want to ask that you haven't been able to ask? Get them together and kind of make sure that there's going to be no questions once the service starts. All right, so number 5, moving on, service order, moving away from the technology, but I'll come back. But this is really important. You got to get this done before you can really get anything else done. And that's 10 weeks out. You want to plan your order of service. Are you going to have kids singing? Is the choir going to do something special? Is there going to be a drama? Is there going to be a nativity scene reenactment? How long is the sermon going to be? What's the call to response or altar call going to be? Right now, you need to start planning that because, again, it's not just an ordinary Sunday. You're going to have all these people here. You want to make sure you got all your stuff together. 4 weeks out, this is the deadline. Once you're 4 weeks out, it's tough, but your leadership should know what the deal is. 4 weeks out, nothing else gets added to the service. The kids should know what they're singing. They should already have been practicing. The choir should know what they're singing. No more once you're 4 minutes out from Easter, that's last minute. Okay. No last minute additions. 4 weeks out, everyone should know what's happening. And then by Monday or Tuesday, the worship team, anyone speaking, the deacons doing the offering prayer, everyone should have a copy of the order of service in their hands the week of. So there is no question of what's happening on Easter Sunday.
To go along with that, there's going to be a lot of support materials and stuff for the service. These are your slides. These are your video elements, all this kind of stuff that whether it's announcement type stuff or notes from the pastor, anything like that, any kind of visual elements and stuff, these are going to be running on your computer in your media booth, and they're going to be going through your projectors and stuff. So just a good rule of thumb with the projectors is when you install the projectors, be sure that you mark down the date that you installed the projector, and then sort of keep a little just a note or something about like bulb life. The bulbs we have in here are rated for 2,000 hours or something. Okay, well, it's been, if you do the calculations, 1,800 hours between the deal. Let's take a look at the bulb. Let's make sure that it's not going to burn out on us or anything like that. If you've got extras or whatever, might be a good time to go ahead and get those put in, especially if you got the scissor lift in there while you're doing the lights in the house and all that sort of stuff. Now's a good time to go ahead and get those things replaced and get that prepped. Now, 4 weeks out, okay, again, your pastor should have most of what he's going to want visually taken care of, have an idea and all that. So get that stuff created. Get the, if you got the order of service and the songs and all that sort of stuff put in there, go ahead and get those slides made. Get ProPresenter all set up. Kind of get everything done so that you can get with your volunteers and do a little bit of rehearsing. What's going on? Get a recording if you want of like the worship team practicing and doing run-throughs and stuff so that you can listen to it and kind of walk through it, even if you can't worship with them because they're up in the choir suite or something like that. Little things like that to just sort of practice and work with your volunteer team to make sure that everybody's kind of on the same page. That's also a good time if you've got the lighting cues and stuff that you're doing to kind of work on these together. Just like I said, just using a dry run of the worship team. and what they're going to be doing, just so you can get some of your timings down. And then week of, you need to run through everything, make sure that nothing is missing. Get with the worship leader and double check, triple check, make sure this is the order. These are the ones we're going to do. You're going to run through it this many times. You're going to run through the chorus, those little things like that, so that any minor changes or tweaks need to be done can be done, and they won't become a major thing. And all of a sudden you're on this slide and he's on this slide and the words are getting messed up. You don't want any of that sort of stuff to happen. What's next, buddy?
I really like the idea of getting a recording of your worship team doing the set.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just something you can practice along.
Yeah,
with.
just a timing thing.
All right, so number 7, Easter landing page. If you don't know what a landing page is, it's a dedicated page that serves one purpose, and in this case, it's to inform people of your Easter landing of your Easter events. I gave Dave a demo of the one that we used last year at my church, but really, this is a dedicated page, and if it can't be a landing page, just make it a page on your website. But it's all about Easter. This is all about when it is, where it is, what to expect, what events are going on. Are you having an Easter breakfast? Are you having an Easter egg hunt? I like to have a personal invite from the pastor. Just record a video. Doesn't have to be fancy. A map is great. And then do some FAQs. Where do I park? How do I dress? What is the music like? And then I like to include a little bit more for kids, because I know especially parents with kids, those are the ones that come on Easter and only Easter. Or so if they're looking for a church and you're the ones to address what their kids can be doing or will be doing, that's going to give you a leg up on exactly what's going on. So we'll have a demo link inside of there for people to see that. But basically, it's a real basic page. You should have that done about 10 weeks out, or at least start working for it. On 4 weeks out, that's when you make it live and start putting it in all your promotional material. We use the link Easter at FBE. That's our Easter at FBE.com. That goes on our cards, our invites, our slides, our social media. That's what we blast out. And then the week of, I call it an Easter takeover, where you redirect your whole web page to that landing page. So even though we have Easter at FBE as our Easter page and FBEchurch.com is our website, the week of Easter, when you go to FBEchurch.com, it takes you straight to that Easter landing page. That way, there's no confusion. Most of your traffic is going to be looking for Easter service times. Just redirect them right to that landing page.
When you're starting to get like equipment checks and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you're taking a look at the audio. Okay, so get with the audio engineer or the 2 or 3 engineers maybe that sort of run the board and are in charge of the mics and all that sort of stuff. You guys need to go through the equipment and any kind of glitches or anything that you've had, every few times it does this, or where's that hum coming from, stuff like that. Go ahead and start working that stuff out now. You want to double check if the pastor's mic has given him problems every now and then. Now's a good time to get it replaced, get it fixed, change out the capsule, do anything like that. Make sure, guys, as well, that you have, if you're using a lot of wireless stuff, make sure you've got fresh batteries. If you're using rechargeable batteries, be sure that these are newer rechargeable batteries versus older rechargeable batteries, because the older ones may not hold the charge as long. And last thing you want is in the middle of the sermon, and he came from the You don't want that happening. You don't want your pastor saying that he came forth the grave and everyone looked at him and said he is risen, getting missed.
Everyone passively listening is just like, what happened? What's wrong with my recording?
That's right. So anyway, like 10 weeks out, guys, now, okay, start going through that sort of stuff and get stuff replaced. About 4 weeks out, guys, you're going to want to get with the volunteers and make sure that anybody that's going to be involved with doing this knows what to do, knows how to check the sound, knows how to make sure that the mics are turned on and stuff like that. Hey, and listen, if you've got new people on your worship team, get with them and just make sure that they know that we're using these kind of mics. These are new from last time and stuff. Here's how you turn it on. Here's how you turn it off. That sort of stuff. Just little things like that. And then, obviously, the weekend as you're doing it, so Friday night, if y'all are having a rehearsal, full sound check. You're testing everything. Saturday morning, fixing whatever didn't work on Friday night. Saturday, y'all are doing another sound check and all that. And then Sunday morning, before anybody gets there, you guys get there early and get things checked. Get with the musicians, make sure everything is going to work good. You do not want to be a distraction on the day that some of these people is the only time that they're coming. You don't want any sound to be a distraction.
That's right. So we talked about Easter landing pages, and now we're going to go to the actual website. So your main church website, 10 weeks out, you need to do an audit. Check for out-of-date items, bad information, ministries that don't belong anymore. again, we talk about Christmas photos. Those should be off. And if you need a list of other things to check, you can go to betterchurchwebsite.com.
Right.
We've listed 7 church website essentials, and that will tell you exactly what you need. That way, if people are checking your website before you do the Easter takeover, they will not be distracted. 4 weeks out, that's when you put your Easter info up front and center. Hey guys, we got Easter coming up. We're going to have a lot of good stuff. Put that front and center on the website, and put the calls to action to take you to the Easter landing page. And then again, the week of Easter, your church website does not exist. Only the Easter website exists. So redirect your main church page over to your Easter landing page, and make that your home page. Make that the one thing that your website is the week of.
The next thing is testimonial videos. These are huge church-wide. I mean, just with your church, in general. If you haven't started doing them, now's a good time to go ahead and start doing them, because you are going to be getting a lot more attention. So get with the folks that are that you think have really good testimonies, really impactful testimonies and stuff, and be sure you get kind of a range of them. You don't want it to be, I used to be a pimp and now Jesus saved me. You don't want like 4 of those or 5 of those or something like that. You want a nice range of testimony videos that will appeal to different segments of the people. Go ahead and get those identified, get with those people, get them shot, get them edited, get them all prepped and stuff. And then 4 weeks out, you're going to start releasing these things on social media. You're going to put them on your church's website. You may want to turn on at that point the testimonial page, or the Changing Lives page, or whatever like that. You want to start putting those in position. Share them on social, share them on Instagram. Do 1-minute ones that you put up on Instagram, the 2 5-minute ones that you do on Facebook, that sort of stuff, okay? And then take the one that you think has the most impact, and then maybe make that a part of the service. Get with your pastor, get with the worship team and all that, and share that. You're going to have people coming in and focusing on your church and the experience and all that for the first time, or for the first time in a long time. Now's a good time to see if a personal story or 2 can change somebody's life, because that may be the only thing that is needed to spark them into a long-lasting relationship with Christ.
That's right. Going into social media, there's a lot that we can go into social media, but I'm only going to hit the highlights. 10 weeks out, you need to start planning your posts and campaigns. What invites are going to go on which day at what time? What ad campaigns are we running? What's the target audience? What's the call to action we want them to do? What's the commitment we want them to make? And then 4 weeks out, go live with everything. Start your Easter, Facebook advertising. Start talking about it on your social media, your organic posts that you put out. And announce to your congregation to start sharing your posts. If someone in your congregation sees your post on Facebook, tell them from the stage, this is super important that we get the word out. And if you're not comfortable handing out invite cards, if you're an introvert like me, hitting share on Facebook is a tremendous ministry. So tell your congregation 4 weeks out, start sharing our social media posts. Then the Sunday before Easter, Palm Sunday, remind your congregation to keep sharing posts, and revisit the ad campaign. If you did do ads, or if you did do posts, look at the last 3 weeks of posts that you did, find the ones that did the best and double down on them. So if you do have one ad campaign that's performing better than the others, shut the other ones down and just run that one, put all your money into that one that week. And then any posts, if you notice question posts in the last 3 weeks have done better performance, only ask questions the week of Easter. If you notice videos have performed better, then only do videos the week of Easter. Even if you have to reshare videos that you did last year or something like that, use your best judgment on that. But social media, that's kind of what you want to do going into Easter.
I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about the lights and the facility and in the worship center and stuff like that. That just take that idea and amplify it for the entire building. Anywhere that people are going to be, the guests are going to be and stuff, you guys need to start looking for all these little things that you may have become nose blind or sight blind to. A little stain on the wall, hand marks on the backs of the pews that need to get cleaned off or anything like that. Stretch the carpet, get it, the carpet's starting to get bubbled up a little bit or something like that. Get the carpet guys out 10 weeks out, over the next several weeks, get them out, have it all stretched, get ceiling tiles replaced, do all that sort of stuff. Check the bathrooms, you're getting a little sewer gas smell, something like, go ahead and get the plumber out there if you got problems with the air conditioning, anything facility wise, major stuff, minor stuff. Go ahead and start getting it taken care of. And then, 4 weeks out or something, bring in some people. If you get, bring some of your friends from another church, have them do a walkthrough and see what they notice, just to make sure. Again, we're putting our best foot forward out, and then week of just kind of walk through and make sure that no kids have wiped boogers on the wall in the nursery or anything like that. All this different kind of stuff, little bits and pieces. A nice, good dusting and cleaning that you can do. Go ahead and get that taken care of.
Yeah, another thing you want to plan, not just social media, but like we talk about almost every week here at Church Training Academy, is get your email marketing straightened away. Remember, social media is just one tool in an entire communication strategy, and email is another tool that you can use. So starting 10 weeks out, if your pastor's not emailing your congregation at least once a week, encourage them to do that. It doesn't have to be an announcement. It doesn't have to be something. Just share a story, share an insight. What did you read this morning? Doesn't have to be preachy, doesn't have to be teachy. Just have the pastor just write a 100-word email on what he's excited for, what he enjoys, a childhood ministry, and get the church used to start receiving emails every week, because 4 weeks out, you're going to start planning your email follow-up for your visitors. We do have one. We haven't officially launched it, but here's a little sneak peek. You can go to emailforvisitors.com and you can sign up, and we have a done for you 5 email template that's pretty much done for you. You just plug in your church or pastor information and you can send those out to visitors, because on Easter, you will hopefully get some connection cards or connect cards or whatever you got with people's emails on them, and you can follow up with them, ask them what their feedback was how did they enjoy the service, what the ministries they're interested in, share kind of some testimonies of the church, some wins of the ministries, and those emails can help bring people back. So starting 10 weeks out, I would encourage you to email your list once a week, preferably from the pastor. 4 weeks out, start planning your email follow-up campaigns with emailforvisitors.com. And then the week of, I would even go so far as start emailing the congregation every day, getting them hyped up for Easter.
One of the things that you need to check is your signage around the campus, and this is to make sure. This is everything from making sure that the outside sign, if it's like one of those semi-opaque signs that has lights behind it, that the light bulbs are fresh in there. If it's digital signage, make sure that all the LEDs are working. You don't have like little patches of LEDs out or anything like that. Do things like that, but then also double check and make sure that the stuff in the corridors, all of that stuff is clean. Nothing has been, if it's vinyl, nothing has been peeled off. All these little aesthetic things like that. Also, now's a good time, 10 weeks out, that if you've got some of the branding kind of mismatches where the sign on the outside has the old brand, but all the stuff on the new has the now's the time that you can get that sign ordered and get it replaced and all that beforehand. Okay, and then 4 weeks out, bring in, a couple of your friends or something and say, hey, look, we just been working on all these signs and stuff. Tell me if anything jumps out at you as just being glaringly wrong that we need to get fixed. Do things like that. And then week of, again, just make sure that everything is proper, that letters haven't been peeled off or anything like that. Just it's attention to detail with the signage. Again, you want to make it easy for people to flow through the building and get where they need to go as easy as possible.
That's right. We're running up right along my deadline here, so I'm going to share one more, and then I'm going to get out. And this is one that I think not a lot of churches think about, and that is going to be your guest network. Now, if this doesn't apply for you, then obviously this is one of the ones you don't have to do. But number one, 10 weeks out, audit your Wi-Fi. Are there any dead spots? Are there any rooms that doesn't get Wi-Fi? Is there a weird disconnect when you walk into the coffee bar? And figure out what you need to do to get that working. Add a router, add something else, and then figure out if you have enough bandwidth. If you're live streaming and you cut off guest network, maybe reevaluate because that's an important thing. People my age and people younger come to a church and they're like, all the Holy One's blessings, but they password lock their Wi-Fi. So if you do have a guest network, make sure everything's working. 4 weeks out, start replacing equipment, start checking cables. And then the week of, more like the Friday before Easter, make sure all the staff computers, if they're not being used, shut them down. Just a real quick story. One time, our church, who was also a school, decided, the computer lab of 30 computers all decided to download Windows updates all at once. And it completely shut down our network because all of those guys were using everything and we had no more internet to share. So make sure if you have computers on campus that aren't unused Sunday, Friday, the day before, the days before, make sure you shut them all down. So Dave, I got to get out of here.
Okay.
Do you want to do one more and then we'll save the last 5 for the blog post next week?
Yes, we can do that. Let's see here. Blah blah blah. Okay, there it is. Me. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check out. So I appreciate you guys. We had a really good comments going. So keep it up. I'll be in the chat box as I'm on my way back to work and kind of listening to it in my ear. And I appreciate you guys. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below and we'll post the full article with the checklist on next week when the actual podcast releases.
Okay, guys, the next thing that you need to check is the security audit for your children's section, your children's ministry, that area. A lot of churches are doing online check-in or kiosk check-in, things like that. So now's the time to make sure that everything is good. Most of those systems are all like Windows-based. Make sure that any updates that need to be applied to them are applied, and then like automatic updates are turned off. There is nothing more frustrating than going to a kiosk to start doing something, and right as you start doing it, it's like trying to do a Windows update. You know, say, "Do you want to reboot? Let's pick a time. Let's check this off our list." Stupid Windows 10. You don't want any of that sort of stuff getting in the way, and you also want to make sure that every single one of these kiosks is there and is working. You also want to make sure that the badge system, the scanning system for the volunteers, all that sort of stuff, moving from an insecure area, the hallway and all that, to a secured area where they may have to badge in, like during the service or something like that, or any of that sort of stuff. You want to make sure all of that is working in tip-top condition. And you also want to make sure that if your system has, larger churches, how they may have like the little displays in the middle of the auditorium or on the edges of the auditorium that have like a number, like 103, that's our daughter, and she's throwing a fit, those little notification systems or pagers or anything like that. Make sure all that stuff is working. And the best thing to do is to talk to the people who are using those on a daily basis. Talk to some of the families. Is everything going okay with the security system? You having problems badging in? You having problems getting notified when your kid's throwing a fit? Anything like that. Go ahead and get all that sort of stuff taken care of. Also, 4 weeks out, get with your volunteers and the people that are going to be adding to the service or to the children's ministry. Make sure that they're aware of the security protocols and such. Also, make sure that any background checks are done for any of the workers, the nursery workers, or anything like that. Most churches now, if you're going to be working with kids, you got to go through a background check and all that. So just make sure that all that stuff's taken care of and get that done as early as possible. Okay. And then again, week of, make sure all the kiosks are good to go. All the supplies are ready. All the toys are sanitized. Guys, we've got this flu going around like crazy. Sanitizing the play area, the equipment, the toys, the surfaces, all that sort of stuff. That, guys, that is imperative. The doorknobs, the push bars, the panels that they're touching, all that sort of stuff. Seriously. And I mean this. We had a friend who lost one of their twins, 8 years old, died from one of these variant strains of the flu. Not going to go into any details and stuff, but this stuff is out there. So make sure everything is sanitized, because these little crumb crunchers are going to pick up something and stick it in their mouth. Let's at least make it clean beforehand. That is what we have. These are 16 of our 21 checks and things to consider for your Easter as you prepare for your Easter service. We've gone through 16 of them. The rest of them will be in our blog post and in our checklist. We'll go over them. They include, I will just hit these real quick, offline follow-up for your guests, okay? Volunteer positioning for different ministries, staffing up a little bit for people like during the invitation time, counselors, things like that. The offline Easter promotion, that's number 19. That is the flyers, the ads, the door hangers, things like that, the things that, the cards you put in people's, on the windshield of their car, all that sort of stuff. And then the parking area, the outside stuff on the campus, the parking area, the lighting in the parking lot, all that sort of stuff, the signs, those sort of things. And then the final thing is the cleanup, removing every sign that Easter was ever there very quickly so that you can show that you are current and that, we still don't have our Easter promotion and our Easter pictures and stuff like that. The only sign that Easter was there needs to be like on your website in a photo gallery or a video montage or other things about, hey, we had a great Easter, here's some highlights, things like that. Otherwise, all the signage, all the good stuff, we don't need to see the little plastic eggs, all that sort of, all that stuff needs to be gone. Every little strip of green plastic grass, all that stuff has to be gone. So anyway, that is our very extensive list of Easter preparation, our 21 things that you need to be doing 10 weeks out, 4 weeks out, and the week of Easter. So there you have it, our 21-part Easter preparation checklist. Like we said, you may not need to use all 21 of these things, but I can tell you that if you will put every aspect of this in that does apply to you and stuff, you'll be setting yourself up for a much more successful and smooth weekend. So hope this has been of help to you guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. Take what you've learned today and go out there and change lives.